Hey everyone, it's Kristen, and today we're doing an American Horror Story FX makeup look. The first trailer that has come out has a slasher feel to it, so I decided to make the logo for this season look like it was carved into my skin with a knife. And to start out this look, I will sketch out the AHS logo with some white face paint. Next, we'll be using the Mehron Spirit Gum and putting a layer of it on top of the logo section that we'll be working on. Then we'll be using the Mehron SynWax and using a little ball of it and making it into a long worm-like shape and placing it on the section of the logo that we will be working on. After it has been adhered with the spirit gum, I will use my fingers to sculpt out the shape that I'm wanting. I'm using 2 fingers on each side to kind of blend it in with my skin. You want to make this blend into your skin as much as possible and not create any sharp lines. To smooth it out even more, I'll be using a little bit of petroleum jelly on my fingers to just make it look more smooth and have it blend in a little bit better. Once I have the shape I want, I'll be using a palette knife to kind of carve out the carved shape into the middle of it. Be careful using the palette knives because they are actually sort of like knives and you can definitely cut yourself. Once I cut out the middle, I did use a little bit of the Mehron liquid latex to make sure that some of the edges were cemented down because they were starting to lift up. And we will do the same process for the other side of the A. Now continuing with the H, I wanted to be sure that I left enough room in between the A and the H so that they would not look like they were blending together. So please keep this in mind if your letters will be close together. I could not fit my finger in between the two, so I did have to use the palette knife in between to smooth down the edges. I did the middle of the H and the middle of the A off camera, but I just had to pretty much do the same thing with just smaller pieces and make sure that they connected on both sides and that there was an opening in the middle. The S was rather tricky to do because I had to do it in sections, because when I tried doing it all in one piece, it broke apart in the middle. So if that happens, just do 2 pieces and then sort of blend the 2 together in the middle. The S ended up being one of the harder letters to do. It kept wanting to lift up, so I did have to use some more of the Mehron liquid latex on the edges. Now for the sort of slash logo piece, I just made a very long piece and made sure it was glued down very well. I blended down on the bottom part and then I kind of blended up into the letters for the top of the logo. I made the number pieces off camera to save time, and it was very hard to do because they were quite small and broke apart very easily, but after you have them glued, they tended to stick on very well. It was also a little bit more difficult to cut down the middle because whenever you moved a piece, it all wanted to move at once, but just be very careful and go very slowly. Next, to show some irritation around the outside of the wound, I'm using the Ben Nye Burns and Blisters cream paint wheel, putting a little bit of the pink around all the outside of the wounds. Next, using the Mehron paint palette, I'm going to be using the red color to fill in the wounds. I like to put the paint color down first and then put the blood later. You could just fill it in with either fake blood or scab blood without using the paint first if that's all you had, but I think using the paint colors first gives it a lot more depth. Here I'm going in with a little bit of brown mixed with black just to put in a few spots in each of the letters, just to create a little bit more depth to make it look like the wound is actually going in a little bit further. And next we'll be using the Ben Nye Scab Blood, and we'll be kind of filling in all the wounds with this. You want to go really heavy on this because you want it to look really good and juicy and bloody, and I think this really helps with that. And this completes this slasher carved out skin makeup look. I'm really excited for this season of American Horror Story. I'm hoping for good things. We don't know much about this season yet, so I hope it has something to do with slashers. Let me know what you guys think of this look down in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys again soon.